Hello everyone and welcome to NERDGOBLIN Art. I'm Lula. Right then, it is the best day of the week. It is Froggy FriYAY and it's an extra exciting Froggy FriYAY, especially for me, because Mr. Goblin, the absolute scamp, has managed to get me one of these duly cut molds from pouring your heart out, and they're not easy to get hold of, and I'm aware that there was a bit of an expense in getting this for me, so I'm really chuffed and I can't wait to pour it. So there's only one thing to do. Let's go play. And here we are, this big old Froggy, and after taking it out of the packaging I do notice a few little marks back there, but I'm going to keep going. I'll see what happens, because sometimes there's marks within the actual silicone. And I've picked out some eyes. They're beautiful blue ones, and these are slightly bigger than the regular kind of cabochon eyes that I use occasionally in the smaller frogs, but I can't quite remember the size, so I'm sorry. But they're obviously not 6mm. They're probably, I want to say they're about 12, but I'll have to measure them and let you know. So I'm just using some Diction UV resin, and I just put in a little tiny drop in there, and I'm spraying the eyes with some isopropyl alcohol before I pop them in. And there's already a line drawn on them, so I know the direction the eyes are facing. I couldn't really find any of the rounder ones that I preferred, so we're going with that. And I'm just using my UV torch to do both the inside and the outside. It's incredibly sunny in the UK, so I do give this sky about 10 minutes outside as well, without, it's nice not using the lamp for a change, I guess. So I've done it like this, and I'll do that with both eyes, and there they are both set in place. I don't want to be knocking this Froggy around too much either, because I don't want them to fall out of place, because I don't want a cyclops. No, I've got some stickers out. Now, a bunch of these stickers, these ones are new. They're from Temu. And if you've been with me for a little while, you know that I'm an absolute sucker for these stickers. I love flower fairies. I absolutely adore the artistry of them. And these stickers were very kindly sent to me by Alicia, and they were on my Amazon wish list, which is available in the description box if you do fancy sending me anything. So I've already made up some resin, and I've made up 4 fluid ounces, and that's all I'm putting in at this point. I want to create, now I know I've done this a few times, but I'm a little bit obsessed. I've done it with a clock, with the dry flowers, with fairies poking through there, and I also done it recently on a beautiful magical fairy box where I put the little fairies with some pressed flowers in the base of a jewellery box, which was very nice. I'm just using my heat gun. It's really nicely mixed though, and it's been through the debubbler, and I've added some I think Super Sparkle White. I can't quite remember. I'll probably show you in a minute, but we'll see. So I want to put in a bunch of these stickers, and I want to create like a little magical world within this Froggy. And of course, because we're working the wrong way round, you need to make sure that the stickers are facing the right way. So I'm putting them in the wrong way. Yes, Yes, we are. It is, I'm just going to point, it is incredibly hot. We don't get hot like this in the UK often, and we never get time to be used to it. It'll come, it'll last a few days, and then it's gone again. And there's never any like air. There's no breezes or anything, and it's way hot. So I've started early and I'm working early because I don't want to melt. So I'm stacking up some of these stickers and they are beautiful. It is such a gorgeous set, which is available on Amazon. And if I can find the link, I will pop that below if you do fancy getting hold of some. I've not specifically seen these type or this brand on Temu. I've only seen the plant ones on Amazon, but these flower fairy stickers are definitely available on Temu, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They're so pretty. Pretty. So I wanted to put them in amongst the flowers to be like peeking through. Once again, my hyper focus kicked in. And I was like, oh, stickers, oh, prettiness. And I was just enjoying pulling all the stickers out and deciding on which ones to put in, what to add for a little bit of the background, and then go back to fill in the space. And sometimes I need to slow myself down, but this wasn't the time, apparently. And afterwards I did stand there for a few minutes thinking I maybe put too many in, but it's good, it's all good. And that was a pretty yellow flower. I wish I knew what flowers they were, but still, it's very, very pretty. If you've noticed as well, before I'm placing them in, I am pre-spraying them with the isopropyl alcohol and then using the silicone tool. There are some really beautiful stickers in this set. So whilst I'm doing this, I'm going to play you some music. So if you have sensitive ears, the volume isn't too high, but it's going to play some music. I'm not talking when you see my little panda up in the corner. Isn't that sticker beautiful? So I'm going to pop that up in the top, just like that. So enjoy some NERDGOBLIN music.
Goblin hands are stained with hues, dripping dreams in every bruise. Clay and resin, magic spun, crafting worlds where none begun. Oh, she shows you how to play, build a life with paint and clay. Whimsy whispers in her veins, a goblin's art. No need for chains. Splatters bloom like stars at night, shapes and colors taking flight. With her tools she bends the sky, makes you feel you too could try. Her laughter paints the air with gold, a story new, a tale retold. She's a spark, a flame, a guide, invites you to the other side. Oh, she shows you how to play, build a life with paint and clay. Whimsy whispers in her veins, a goblin's art. No need for chains. She's the muse of
It's the following day and this is all cured. Now, my plan was to have come back in, but it got way too hot, and I mean way too hot. And I was going to do another layer of the clear with some more flowers, but I passed. So I've got Glacier and Mint, and these are pigment pastes from Just Resin, and I will link them. They're an Australian company, but they're fantastic. I've already got my resin mixing in, and it's at ludicrous speed at this point because I'm just giving it its last bit of a spin. I've decided not to do another clear layer because I missed that window of opportunity for not having a hard line. I've also added some crushed crystal into the mix of the paint, so it looks all special. And after it's finished on the mixer, I always make sure to give it that cursory stir around the sides and bottom. And because I want to put this resin into my debubbler, I'm also splitting it into cups, because if it's too full, it will bubble over and it's going to make a mighty mess in that debubbler machine. So always consider that type of thing. The pigments I ordered, as I said, are from Just Resin. I just had to try them. One of my favourite channels, Ben's Works vlogs, Nicole and Ben use them a lot, and I just had to try some. And when I actually looked on the website, I was actually quite surprised that the cost wasn't massively horrendous for getting here from Australia, and they got here really quite quickly too. And look at this blue. This is called Glacier, and it's the first time I've actually opened it, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I bought an initial set because you can buy them in sets. I think £38 for the set of 6 colours. And I went for the pastel set. I just thought they were gorgeous. I used this mint green just the other day just on last week's FriYAY actually, and it is just stunning, and it reminds me of mint chocolate chip ice cream. It really does. It's just missing the chocolate. So I'm splitting them as evenly as possible. And as I say, they're in the 4 cups because they're going in the debubbler due to space, and I don't want them bubbling over. They mix in absolutely beautifully, and I'm really quite excited about pouring this in. But as I said, I would have preferred to have done another layer of clear with some more fairies and stickers, but the weather just got too hot and I had to, I've also been sent this wonderful machine from Resiners, and it really doesn't like the isopropyl alcohol. It's not so bad with the resin, but the isopropyl alcohol, not a fan at all. But it really helps. It really helps, and I'm happy that it's in my workspace. I'll do more on that over the next couple of weeks because I wanted to actually give it a full try out before actually giving a review. So I'm testing it out, using it, and then I'll do a video on it. So I decided to mix these colours in, much like I did on the previous Froggy Friday with the melted ice cream style. They don't really muddy together. They just go gorgeous together, I've got to say. You can tell I'm excited because I'm talking fast, and I don't mean to, so I do apologise. But stuff like this really gets me excited, and I'm excited anyway because of having this large frog. Does it take a lot of resin? Yes, it does take a lot of resin, and if you're going to do it in one pour, I am going to recommend that you probably use a deep pour, but because I've done it in 2, originally it was going to be 3, I'm good with using regular epoxy resin. And today I'm using resin from Mould, which is a really, really lovely resin. It's a 1-to-1, and they've had some good offers on recently, so I ended up buying something like 10 litres of the epoxy resin purely because it was a really great price, and the delivery was super fast as well, came within a day. I'm not an affiliate. They don't do affiliates as far as I'm aware, but when I enjoy using a product and I like a product, I will sing their praises. But I bought them myself, and the same with the pigment paste, by the way. Just resin, don't know who I am. So that is all nicely poured, and of course I'm using some isopropyl alcohol, as you could see, because my puree kind of went red, like alert, alert. So there we go. And I'm just making sure it's nice and tidy around the edges, because there's nothing worse than, you know, I don't like having to, I actually like to burr in. I do like to burr in, but on the frog molds, I'm assuming this, it does remind me of the other one, but slightly different, obviously. But it's hard on the smaller frog mold to get the parts off. So I'm going to scrape these cups to death, which I've done. And he's nice and full. So now I just play the waiting game. And we all know the waiting game sucks. I left it for 45 minutes and I turned on my heat mat. It's too hot to mess around. It's currently 37 degrees in my studio, and that's with a fan running. The feet are still slightly soft, but in all honesty, I think for me today, because my wrists, my joints are aching, it's hot, it makes everything ache more. I decided that it's fine. It's good. It's all good. I'm loosening all the feet first, much like I would do with the smaller Froggy, and then making sure to loosen all the sides and lifting over the hips. I did find it quite similar to the little Froggy. It just, when it comes to the head's a little bit different. It's not gonna, it is a little bit different. I think the head has to roll more so. So yeah, I needed my belly to help me get that out. Plus, it's rather big, isn't it? That's what she said. But check out my frog. Oh my goodness. It is absolutely stunningly beautiful. And you can tell because strokey stroke. Yes, strokey strokey. Isn't it gorgeous? And those colours. Yum. I have no other words. It's yum. It is absolutely stunning. That's why we're spending a lot of time looking at him. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. And yes, my observations are that I wish that I'd gone another layer, but it's fine because I think it is beautiful regardless. There are like 3 fairies in here. You've got to really look to see the other 2, but I'm really pleased that she's up there and she stayed in place and that little one is right by there. And oh, it's so pretty. So you know me. You met me, right? We know each other by now. There's no bubbles, by the way. There's no bubbles. Just saying. There's no bubbles. But you know me, and all my froggies must have a crown. And I just happened to have bought and purchased a few larger crowns. I didn't, magic. Hang on a minute. Magic. Woo! There you go. That's specially for Amy, the spirit fingers. I ordered these large crowns ages ago when this Froggy mold first came out. But then it was going to be available for us to order, and then it wasn't available for us to order, and I just put them away and was very, 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 very sad. But then, as I said in the beginning, Mr. Goblin, the sneaky scamp, he got it ordered, and although he ordered it, it was for a Mother's Day present, but it was coming from Australia, so it only got here like last week. Plus he was saving for it because of the cost of delivery, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I've got it and I'm really, really happy and pleased that I do. And I can finally use the larger crown. Isn't that awesome? And those larger crowns I found on Temu. I cannot find the link for them though, but I'm sure you'll be able to find them. But look, and look at her beautiful eyes. Not too terribly placed, but look at it, they're so pretty. I'm really, really in love. That's why I keep bringing it to show you. Just pulling off that little bit there that I got stuck on there. It's really lovely. It's not something you're going to do like every single week because of the amount of resin that it takes. But of course, if you're going to be doing it like burnishing on a colour and then just filling it up with, say, black resin, it can just be that you could use filler, you know, you can put some pebbles in there, or I like what Nikki calls it from Koenig's Creations, the Bruno box. Don't talk about so any old, you know, anything that you've made with resin that perhaps hasn't worked, so you can just plop it all in just to reduce the amount of resin that you use. But no, it's definitely not an every week kind of thing, but it is awesome to do for a special occasion. And I'm definitely going to make quite a few more of these froggies over the next couple of months. And yeah, I've also got some new ladybirds that have come in. I ordered a mixture. Some of them got closed wings and some of them, like this one, have open wings. I was just debating. I also got some little toadstools in, but I decided against that, and I wanted to put on a little dragonfly. I just wanted to continue the kind of idea of it being outside and in nature by putting these little bugs on them as well. I knew I was going to be putting a few bugs on, and while I was doing this last week, if you've watched last week's Froggy FriYAY when I did the ice cream froggies, I also added on some little embellishments on one or two of the feet with some little flowers, like a flower ring. And I just thought, you know what, I enjoyed doing that so much last week that it'll just look beautiful on this frog as well. So I didn't decide it until I was doing this and looking at it, and I was like, no, I'm going to go get some flowers now, some of those lovely flowers, just because it looks so, so nice. And he gives Froggy kisses as well. So, got some flowers out, and I also found in my little drawer of fillers these lovely, they're almost like a pastely mixture of roses. Not those ones. I don't think I show you close up. We'll see them close up in a minute. But those are like daisies and forget-me-nots, in my opinion. And they're all in slightly different colours. And then there's a bunch of little roses, and it's the roses that are like pastely rainbow coloured is the best way to describe it. Now, you've got the option, if you're going to do something like this, and it doesn't matter if it's on a large frog like this or on one of the smaller ones, you can use glue if you prefer. But because I know I can manage it, I'm just going to be simply using the UV resin. It won't really penetrate through these flowers, but if you put it on in certain places, you can have your UV light shining around all different areas of it, underneath and around the sides, and that is what I do find works really well. And it's just coming to arrange it as well, and it's really so pretty. I really do love the idea of this like queen type froggy that carries a universe around with her on her back. That's what I kind of liked about the green and the blue colour with that pigment, almost like a worldy colour, and then with a little, you know, forest area on the back. I just love that idea as a concept of a story of some way. So yeah, it's almost like you know, a turtle carrying a world on their back, you know, Discworld kind of stories and stuff. So yeah, that's why I think I like it so much. Plus, you know, I love fairy tale stuff. I would definitely be clapping to save the fairies. And a lovely pretty one there. They're really gorgeous. Lovely little simple things to have in your, in your materials drawer. I got quite a few drawers in my unit, and that's a lovely butterfly, which I'm going to place on here as well. It's really good when, if you're starting out, to start building up, space and having stuff like this. Because if you're like me, who I don't tend to plan the finished product out, I do wing it a lot, and so that, I'm standing there, I could do with flowers. Oh, that's cool. I got flowers in the drawer. Yay. Go me. So it's handy, especially if if you're getting into this hobby, this art. It's great. It really is. And these are beautiful. And this little drawer thing I got, Mr. Goblin 3D printed it for me. So there we go. Isn't that beautiful? I wish I had a few of the leaves left over, but I don't have any more of those little leaves. I could have made some, but I hope you enjoyed watching. Please check out the description box below, where you'll find the playlist for Froggy FriYAY. Love you, and stay incredibly weird.
The nerd goblin whispers in my ear. Stay weird, stay wild, no need to fear. She molds her dreams with resin and clay. Whimsical wonders brighten the day. Stay wonderfully weird, let your colors unfold. Frogs and dragons, stories untold. Crocodiles dance in a resin sea. Stay weird, stay wild, stay beautifully free. She paints the night with the dragon's flame. In her hands the world's never the same. Frogs and